The freedom funnel. So the freedom funnel looks like this. This is a proven process of getting sales through Facebook and Instagram ads. This is what it looks like to run a profitable campaign or to sell and have people who don't know you, who have never seen you or your brand before, come into your ecosystem or your space through this funnel and buy. A funnel, what even is a funnel? A funnel is essentially just a customer journey really laid out for you, but this is what you need to create it. You also need to understand and identify what it means to have a cold, complete stranger turn into a hot paying customer. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So what even is a freedom funnel and why is it so important? The goal here is to have an evergreen system working for you by the time this program is over. And the freedom funnel will allow you to do just that. Gain freedom by reclaiming your time, by setting up the right message to the right person at the right time. In order to do this, you must understand how this system works so that you know exactly what it takes to get a cold person on the internet, on social media who doesn't know you, to come in to your ecosystem, learn from you, know, love, and trust you, and turn into a hot paying customer or client. So let's get started. At the top of the funnel, the very first thing that you'll do is have your ad be served to a cold audience. Now write this down. Cold is where we use interest targeting. This is the feature of Facebook where we use detailed interests, demographics, psychographic behaviors, and more to get as close to your ideal customer or client as possible. This is where we will utilize the keywords or phrases that match what people are looking for, what they're searching or shopping for, what they're interested in, what groups or Facebook pages they like, and the activity that they perform on Instagram or Facebook. Keep in mind, people are tracked on Facebook and Instagram by their activity and behavior, not by name or contact information. So by targeting, this can match a variety of different things: behavior patterns, pages they like, brands they shop from. Facebook keeps all of this data for you, and you're able to utilize this to get in front of your ideal client or customer if you know how to use the features the right way. You just need to make sure that your message to this cold audience is completely different than a message that you would normally serve to any other audience. Let me explain. Someone who is already familiar with you, just like in real life, will have a totally different tone of voice or message than someone who has never met you before or who you are meeting for the first time. When you reach out to a cold audience using interest targeting, these are fresh people. The only goal that your ad should have here at this part of the funnel is to introduce your brand, maybe provide some value, engage, educate, things along that line. You are basically introducing your offer to the world. Maybe show a video demonstrating your product in use or talking about your service. Both of these are what we call UGC, user-generated content. We'll talk about that more later. The goal here is to essentially invite them into your business. It's like inviting them into your store. There's something called the store metaphor that we teach, and you'll find that later on in this lesson. But basically the city of Facebook and Instagram, where we're gonna pretend that you live in this city. Now, you have a store, so pretend you have a storefront. Or if you sell professional services, imagine that you've got a brick and mortar, right? You own a spa, very similar to that if you're offering services online. If you don't already know someone and they're walking by your store and looking to come in, the front of your brick and mortar is essentially your ad. People are going to walk by, they're going to scroll by. You want that message to appeal to them, and you want that message or that brick and mortar to be on a block in the middle of where they live. You know how location is everything? It's the same concept. You will essentially open a physical location in an area where more than likely your audience lives or visits, right? Same concept with Facebook and Instagram. Moving on to the middle of the funnel. This is the warm audience. Would you say, I'm ready to collect your credit card right at the front door when someone's ready to come into your store for the first time? No. But your cold ad is essentially that door greeter who's inviting them in. That's what it's like, and the conversation is going to be completely different, just like your ad should be different at that point in your funnel. Now, the middle of funnel, or essentially your warm audience. Once people come into your store, that's equivalent to seeing your ad, clicking on your ad, engaging with your ad, whatever that conversation looks like. You have now officially been introduced to one another. maybe they've watched the video, whatever this looks like. Each of these actions are tracked by Facebook, and we can get back in front of them and retarget them, which means we're getting back in front of people who have seen us and now they're warm. They're automatically warm at this point because they're interested, and they're interested enough, we know that, because they've engaged with a piece of content of ours. Now, remember that Facebook page or an Instagram page, this all comes into play. It's also included in the options for custom audiences, which means that if anyone has landed or engaged with you on social media in the past year, please know I said engaged and not follow. So even if you have a small following, this is key for you. Anyone who has landed on your social media profile or who has taken any type of action with you, such as saving, sharing, liking, commenting, can now be retargeted when you've got the Facebook pixel on. Anyone who's landed on your website, same thing. Anyone who has watched a video of yours, if you've got an email list, same thing. Upload that email list and retarget them. Enter an ad to get back in front of these people because now they are warm. They've already been able to know, love, and trust you. The goal of the Freedom Funnel, remember, is to get them to know, love, and trust you. So now that we're at the middle, we've gotten them to know us, right? We're getting them to trust us. Now it's the bottom of the funnel, or essentially the hot audience. Here's where we get them to fall in love with us so that they can buy if they haven't already during the middle part of the funnel. Isn't this crazy? Are you learning how once people take action with you on social media, they're now being put into different buckets? These buckets are what we call custom audiences. You set up these custom audiences so that they are segmented and automatically served the next ad in your funnel. So we're gonna create these custom audiences because these are people who have seen us, but probably not taken yet any real action. But with the Facebook pixel, you'll be able to get back in front of them and instantly make money because these people are already nurtured, because these people have already gotten to know you and now you're nurturing them to take the next step. For whatever reason, they maybe got distracted because 88% of people are on mobile devices, so it's very easy to get distracted on social media, but essentially they probably left before it was time to pay or before it was time to officially sign up. This is what I like to call low-hanging fruit. Now, moving on to the bottom of funnel, once people have engaged with you and maybe they have checked you out, maybe they have signed up to become a lead, or maybe they've added to cart for those of you who sell products. They took a lot more steps than the warm audience, but they still, for some reason, did not get to purchase or sign up. These are hot folks. They're hot. Let me explain something to you. This is where the money comes in. Warm and hot parts of the funnel, or the middle or bottom of the funnel, is where all of your sales will really begin to pour in, because at the top of the funnel, or your cold audience, really only attributes to 10 to 15% of your sales. Like if you introduce yourself to someone for the first time and you offer them to buy something from you, they may or may not buy because they don't have enough information. It's the same concept. It can happen, it's not impossible, but it is rare. What that means is 85 to 90% of your sales will come in through the middle and bottom of funnel. It's just natural human behavior. Also, there's an average of 7 times that someone needs to see you before they make a decision, which is why using the Freedom Funnel and retargeting is so important. Ensuring you have the right message showing to each parts of these funnel or each of these groups of people is so important, and it's not that complicated. Think about it. When you go out to a store, remember I said how the top of funnel is essentially the door greeter? The front of the store, or the person who's in front of the store inviting you in, they're showing you what's inside, telling you what's inside. They're inviting you to come shop or come in to peruse the services. That's pretty much what your cold ad is doing. You have one staff member right there, but you're paying them much less than you would, being that you're paying $5 or $10 a day for this ad. Now, your warm ad is more so like the personal shopper or the concierge inside of the store. You know, when you go into Nordstrom or anything like that, they're like, how may I help you? Here's what's popular, showcasing you different items that are in demand or the hottest trend. Or maybe if you sell a service, it's, you know, I go into a spa and they're telling me their most popular packages or what people love, get the hot stone, all this good stuff, right? This is the part of the funnel where you'll want to show off reviews. That's the type of ad or message that you'll really want to convey here. It's what we call social proof. This is what it actually looks like. Any ad that has reviews, testimonials, any sort of social proof. If you don't have any of these, don't worry. You can either have some created or start with your own concept, or you can even show off some accolades that you or your brand may have. Now, the bottom of the funnel or the hot ad is what we're gonna say is like that cashier, where their only job right now is to collect the money. So maybe if they still haven't bought, there's something that they're still not comfortable with. So a retargeting ad can address some of those concerns or rebuttals. Maybe it's pricing, maybe it's something else. So you might want to offer a small incentive like a discount, or just giving them more social proof. Maybe build in urgency or scarcity, anything that will help them address some of their concerns at this point in the funnel. So please understand the Freedom Funnel includes 3 ads. That means your first ad, which is your cold, will go out to a cool audience. You're really just inviting them to learn more about your brand. Then the middle of the ad is going to be where you build up that trust. You show some social proof, you have some reviews or testimonials, or maybe even just show them more ways or use cases of your product or service. Then the bottom of funnel is the hot ad, because it's going out to people who have already gotten to know you a little bit, but they're still on the fence. And that's okay, it's not a problem. But we need to showcase either, again, other uses, maybe more testimonials, or some sort of angles that can address their rebuttals or concerns. This is why it's so important to always have market research on your audience. Find out what they're struggling with, what their issues are, so that you can always address this back in your marketing. All right, so now that we've got the strategy and concept down, I know you're probably thinking, well, how do we set this all up? We're going to get into this in the tutorial in the next lesson, but I want you to understand that once you create these audiences, they will automatically begin to show people these ads in this order. That is how we're going to set up our campaigns inside of the lab. Now, I bet you didn't know Facebook could actually do that, but they do. So once you set up your audiences, we'll be setting them up in order of top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, meaning that your top of funnel ad is always going to be using interest targeting. We're going to teach you how to set this up in the next lesson. Then once you set that up, we will create a new ad set or group of audiences that will address all of your warm or custom audiences that will address your middle of funnel. At this point, we're going to tell Facebook to take this ad and show it to people who took these actions. What Facebook does, or how they do this, is they take that group of people or that audience and they ask you what event you would like them to take at this step in the funnel. More than likely, it's purchase or sign up, depending on what your business model is. So you're telling Facebook, okay, take this warm ad, show it to people who took this action based on either the first ad or coming across my profile on social media. What happens then is they will go through everyone in that audience bucket and they will sift through people who have most recently taken action like this before. Meaning if you're asking someone to purchase a product, Facebook is doing what? Tracking people based on activity or behaviors and nothing else. So they're going to go through and find people from that audience who have previously purchased something from social media, showing them that ad the next time they come onto their Instagram or Facebook feed. That is how your audiences and your ads are flowing from one step to the next. You don't have to worry about this so technically or logistically. It's just something to understand. Once it's set up, Facebook is doing its job. The same thing happens for the bottom of the funnel. You're telling Facebook, take this ad and serve it to people who have taken this action. You'll learn how to set this up later, but just keep in mind that Facebook is going through every single person in that bottom of funnel audience and they're sifting through based on what behaviors they have taken before. If they've seen people have purchased something on social media before or signed up for an event or anything that you're offering on social media before through another brand or business, they're going to show that ad to these people first. Then they will continue down the list of everyone in that group of audience. It can seem a little hard to visualize now, but once we set this up, you will literally be able to see the numbers flow through in your Facebook dashboard. So now that you understand the secret to how you can put your best content in front of people to create a 24/7 sales machine using social media ads, all you need is this Freedom Funnel, because this will be in place to target the right people at the right time with the right message. Now that we've got this in place, let's go set it up together.